Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you're well. This video may be a little long, may not be. Where we're at here, this is the 288. We're going to be building. I'm basically taking two saws and building one. If you'll remember, I've posted a couple videos. We got one started up and running, but the cases were busted on the back of the saw on the bottom of each corner. Kind of a sad deal, because I believe the saw was a low hour saw, looking at the piston and checking piston wear and ring gap and looking in the cylinder. Hell, you can even see the squish band still kind of clean in it. At least a little bit of carbon build up in the exhaust port, you know. It's hard telling what happened, but you know, probably a logging saw, probably skidder modified, or could have been dropped out of a tree, or you know, it could have been done just sitting in shop somewhere. Who knows? No one will know, I guess, except for whoever owned it. But this is the handle. I kind of wanted to use it because the color, it actually just looked a little better. It was, you know, kind of similar to the color on the later model saws. Starter housing was the same way, but it ended up, I don't need to knock that stuff over. That's 372 and 365 parts. If I could find the starter housing, it actually ended up having a big chunk broke out of it. Well, I'm not gonna dig through that crap. You can just take my word for it, but almost every AV bushing on this thing was broke. I think right there's one more we could rob and use if need be on another build, but I ended up mixing and matching and got a really nice handle put together. Got a new fuel line put in it, used 372 fuel line, put a new filter in it. What's funny is where the fuel line goes in on this saw, or this handle, was totally different. It goes in kind of over here, is to where the one on that handle went in here. It's kind of bigger, like a Mac would be, like has a grommet where it goes in. Now, I didn't pop this out and try to put like a piece of 372 line in it. May work, may not, I don't know, but we'll find out in the future, because we are gonna build another one of these. And then honestly, I'll probably let go what parts I have left after that. We'll just have to see. It'll be a little while down the road. I mainly just wanted to get another ported 288 back on my shelf. But yeah, kind of a sad deal on that one, but who knows the story. And there's Simple Man's 365. Can't wait to build mine. I'm going to build one about identical to it, but we're going to go 48mm top end on mine, because I have two really nice 48mm top ends here. So, and I don't have a 65cc saw in that series, but where we're at here, I'm going to go ahead and get this handlebar bolted back on this. Between the two saws, I got enough wiring to wire up the coil, which on these is at the top, and this is just a trigger. If one of you guys know of a coil, which these work good, but if one of you know of a coil that's just kind of a direct bolt on onto this, you know, I doubt there is, but just let me know. But yeah, we should have a working kill switch once we get it together, and we are going to port this. You know, I may video some of the port work, may not, but you know, with most of the time I show what I've done to it. But I'm gonna pause you guys, and I do have new seals for this, but honestly these still, I feel like they have really good drag to them, and bearings feel really good. And these things are kind of a pain in my butt to pull the seal plates off, press new seals in them, put them back on, and get them back on without the O-rings leaking. So I'm gonna cross both sets of fingers and hope and pray that the seals in this, you know, are still pretty good and, you know, hold good pressure and vacuum. But we won't know till we get around them and see what's going on. But I'm gonna shut you guys off, and I think about all I'm gonna do tonight is try to get this tank assembly bolted back on this thing. Alright fellas, squish is about identical to the other one, so should be able to make this thing scream, or at least ways I hope so. Cylinder's got a bunch of fins busted off the back side of it, but you know what, and one busted off here, but honestly don't think it'll matter. Most of the ones on the cooling side of it are still here, so I think it'll be okay. Gonna get my wheel set up on it and pull some timing numbers. I'll let you guys know what I figure out. I'll have to go back to the other video, or I don't know if I put it in my notebook, of the other 288 we done, but this thing has the absolute best port timing I swear I think I've ever seen out of a stock cylinder. Depending on what YouTuber you watch or follow, you know, you might not think so, but we get an opening and closing of 103 on the exhaust, transfers 124 and the intake 74. As you've seen, 19 thousandths on the squish. Yeah, I could just clean these ports up, which is I am going to do that, and which we're going to do some other things too. But I could just clean these ports up and throw this thing back together. And you know, I see some people saying 288s just don't have it or don't run good, but not in my experience. I don't know, this is the second one I fooled with. Maybe we just got lucky on cylinder and crankcase combinations, but you know, all these crankcase halves interchange, so I'm assuming deck height on them's all the same anyway. But yeah, we don't like a high exhaust roof here. You know, if you've got a way to go in and machine, get your compression up around 200 or higher, you know, you can raise it, gain some RPM, but you know, we know other ways here to gain RPM in the cut. And yeah, we're gonna get into some port work on this thing, and you know, I guess I'll give you a look at it when I'm done. This is obviously before, and as you can see, we had that squish band cleaned the top of the piston and checked our squish. Should be common knowledge to you to do that anyway, but some people don't, and it is what it is, I guess.
John crying right there with one of his eyes of paradise. What's his big kiss? Look, no, Mr. Charlie Pride. I like a little bit of pride. Mike, so come up right here, can do it for you. Charlie Pride was one told you. Billy's it.
Alright guys, final timing numbers: exhaust 102.5, transfers 122, intake 76. I already showed you the squish, 19 thousandths. I'm gonna get this thing together, and hopefully the next thing you guys see is this thing starting up and running, or at least ways I sure hope so. She's made a pretty good looking saw. Shabby for a Junkpile saw. We still have a load of parts. I'm about to try to pull the top end off of the other. what I can see of the piston through the intake port, doesn't look like there's really anything wrong with it. So I'm hoping it's just the bottom end stuck, because I know for a fact we have another good crankshaft, so could just be the bearing stuck in it. Sadly enough, the chain brake mechanism on the Farmer Tech side cover was garbage. I think they just started making that stuff, and the bolt holes in it were not drilled out big enough. I had to put it in a drill press and drill the bolt holes out about 2 sizes before it would even go on. But we're back in business with another ported 288, but again, sadly enough, none of these saws or parts have a chain adjuster, so I'm gonna have to go in there and order a chain adjuster, and once we get that, then we can put a bar and chain on it and see how well it cuts. But I'll just tell you, you have to use the decomp. This one has a degree and a half more exhaust timing, not duration, but this one's at 102.5. The one that we sent Simple Man, I think, ended up being around 101 or something. You just have to go back and look at that video, but 19 thousandths squish, 102.5 on the exhaust. You know, it makes for some pretty damn good compression. And the saw seems like it's going to want to scream too if we want to lean it out, but you know, have no idea about the bottom end. It idles good warm, and it tuned really easy, so I don't really have many concerns if we lose a crank seal. We'll put crank seals in it, but as for right now, we're back in business on a ported 288. Once I get a chain adjuster and a bar and chain on this, we'll do a test cut video, but as for now, it's going to be a wrap on this. As usual, thank you guys for watching. Y'all take it easy, and everybody have a good one.